Discuss about one another very important operator which is used in SQL and which is known as EXIST operator. So we will again, as usual, we will discuss about what is EXIST operator. Then we will see the syntax, and then we will illustrate this EXIST operator using one example in SQL Management Studio. So let me first give you a brief about this EXIST operator. It's a logical operator and it's used in a where clause. So you should learn any type of operators in SQL step by step. So first of all, it's a logical operator. Secondly, it is used with a in a where clause. Why it is used in a where clause? It so that it can determine whether a subquery returns any row. It check for the existence of row that meets a specified condition in the subquery. So we will see uh, SQL exist operator. In SQL, the exist operator helps us create logical condition in our queries. Essentially, it checks if there are any rows in a subquery. SQL exist operator is used when we want to filter rows in one table based on the existence of related data in another table. So if the subquery, we will use subquery when we use exist operator. So if the subquery returns at least one row, the exist operator evaluates to true, otherwise it evaluates to false. And this operator, as I mentioned, is particularly useful for performing conditional queries based on the presence or absence of data in the related table. So when we use SQL uh, exist operator basically it's a boolean operator. It just tells whether the given condition exists or not, and then basis that the main query evaluates the outcome. So let's discuss about exist operator syntax. You are probably familiar with SQL operators like equals, greater than, less than, and like. So all these operators can be used to create a logical condition and that will return true or false. Now let's see the entire SQL query to determine whether where the exist condition can be placed. So this is the entire SQL query where we are using exist. So this is the syntax: select column from table 1, where exist select columns from table 2. So for now, just remember this exist syntax. You will get more clarity when we discuss one example because it's little bit different from other operators that we were discussing till now. However, you should for now you should try to understand the concepts that are related to this exist operator. So the exist operator is used to create boolean condition to verify if a subquery returns rows or an empty set. When its subquery returns at least one row, exist return true. It doesn't matter how many rows are returned or how many columns are in the subquery select list. Only when the subquery returns 0 rows does exist return false. So even if there is one row which is returned from the subquery, then exist will return true, else it will return false. So it is important to note that none of the rows returned by subqueries are shown in the final result. As I mentioned, that this subquery is basically just exist operator is using that subquery just to get whether any row exists in that table or not. And if there is even a one row is existing, the outcome will be true, exist will return true. And if there is no row is existing basis the condition that we are providing, then it will return false. So let's see. So as usual, for your understanding, let me show you. I have created two table, employees and departments, and just for your understanding, this is employee table and this is department tables. In employee table there are three columns: employee ID, name, and the department ID to which they belong. In the department table there are two columns: department ID, department name. And the question for us to solve here is that we want to get name of employees who belongs to existing departments. So this is a very smaller table, so you can also read this table to understand the question or to understand how it will work. But when we go to larger data sets, it's essential that, because if we understand the concept from a smaller table, only then we can employ the operators when we are dealing with larger data sets. So for example, there are four employees in this employee table: Alice, Bob, Charlie and David. Alice has employee ID 1, and like this they are assigned employee IDs. Bob is having employee ID 2, Charlie is having employee ID 3, and David is having employee ID 4. Now the department ID for Alice is 10, and if you see, 10 is present in the department table. Department ID is a common column between these two tables, and 10 department means the department name is HR. Similarly, Bob is having department ID 20, and 20 means engineering department. Charlie is having department ID 30, and 30 means marketing department. Whereas if you see, David is having department ID 40, but this doesn't exist in the department table. So when we write the subquery, you will see that for this particular David, or for this particular row, the subquery will return false. So that particular data from this employee table will not be included in the final outcome. So first of all, I will write the SQL query, and then I will try to explain you that how that is working. So, so the question basically is, we want the name of employees who belongs to the existing departments, and the department table is having three department IDs: 10, 20 and 30. 40 department ID is not present in the department table. So let me first write the query. Select name. I want name from employees. So I am giving alias to this table, employees E. Where, so till now just see that how I'm writing the query, and try to understand the importance of understanding the syntax. Where exists, then we write the subquery. Select star from department D, where D dot department equals E dot department ID. So here also I need to write department ID, and closing it. Yes. So basically what I am doing, this main select is very easy. It goes to table employee to obtain the column to obtain the name column basically. However, we don't want all the employees in the final result set. We only want those names which returns true for this condition. So basically, if we analyze this condition, this particular condition, the subquery is returning name of employee only if department ID exists in the department table. So this is important to note. I am repeating this. The subquery is returning the name of employee only if department ID exists in the department table. And again, important point to note here: exist only checks if at least one matching row exists. The actual selected values or select star are ignored. So exist is only checking, as it's a boolean operator, whether any at least one matching row is existing or not. It doesn't include all these select star columns. No, it's a boolean operator. So if I execute this query, it's saying invalid okay, so the name is departments. So it's important that you take care of the spellings, because otherwise you will get error. If I execute this query, this is the output. So you can see that Alice, Bob and Charlie are coming in my final output. However, David is not coming, because when we were executing this condition, that David is not present in the department table. David is only present in the employee table. So this is how we can employ exist operator in SQL, and this is very important for you to understand how this function for various use cases. So you should start practicing exist operator online, and you will get more understanding about this as you start practicing more and more question. Also for you, one important point that you should understand here, that there are other ways also to write this query. The question that we have solved, there are many other ways to write this query without using the exist operator. However, in order to explain that how this exist operator works, this is a good example to see that. So I will also show you that how we can solve this query using joins, particularly inner join I will use. So I want name, select e dot name, since I will give the name alias employees e. So this is the alias, that's why I have mentioned e dot, because I also told you that it's a good practice to name the table from which any column is coming, especially when we are using joins, because if there are same type of column present in both the tables, the system will be confused that from which table I have to obtain this column, and it will throw you error. Inner join, I'm joining this with inner join departments, and the name of this is D. You can check the spelling departments, so it's correct. On e dot department id equals d dot department id. So this is a classic example of inner joins, that you want to include only those values which are matching in both the tables. So department ID, only those names will come which have department IDs in our department table, because we are inner joining this employee table with department table. So the output will be same if I execute this query, Alice, Bob and Charlie, because David is the employee who is present in the employee table, but since that 40 department ID is not present in the department table, so that is not coming in the final data set. So this was about that we have seen about exist operator. Hope you understand the usage of exist operator. So guys, we will meet you in another video with some different concept. I hope you are finding the video useful. Please share these videos with your fellow friends who are learning SQL. We will meet you in next video. Thank you.